welcome or welcome back to Montreal in Real Life and to The More You Know, otherwise known as Information in Real Life. I'm trying to transition the names here with a theme. But anyways, today I'm going to be talking to you about the empath. What are they? Who are they? How is she? And the super empath. So like everything in life, the ability to be empathetic is on a scale. I believe that everybody has the ability to tap into their empathetic side. I mean, how could we go about the world not understanding and connecting with other people? Maybe it's because I consider myself a super empath that I just literally can't think to a level of empathy where that's one, non-existent, or two, that you're not like connecting with someone else. Anyways, it's like a sliding scale. People have the ability to understand how someone is feeling. That's like the basic empathy. Then there is people who are empaths who can take that up a notch, who are able to pick up on these social cues like change in tone, change in posture, that help them tell how someone is feeling. And I never thought that this was like rare. Like apparently being an empath is rare. Like 1 to 2% of the population are empaths. And I hope that's only because a lot of studies haven't been done and people haven't like come out and been like, oh yeah, I'm an empath. Because honestly, like who knows what it is. But yeah, so very few of the population are empaths, which makes it really hard for me to like believe that people are just walking around not having the ability to understand other people's feelings. But I mean, if we step back and take a look at the world right now, I guess it does make sense. So empaths are basically people who have the ability to take on other people's emotions as their own. Often referred to as like emotional sponges, they absorb the energy of others and people around them. And this can be so overwhelming sometimes, honestly. Sometimes it's hard for empaths to go out in public spaces because they just really pick up the vibe of the room, so to speak. And I was actually reading this book, wait one second, I forgot what it was called. So I was actually reading this book called The Empath Survival Guide by Judith Orloff, and this book is really for people who are in this like middle category empath section, that might think that they're like highly sensitive people, if that makes sense, who are probably, told like that they are sensitive, but they feel like a certain way about, people. Like I said, I literally had no idea what all this was until literally I was forced to face a narcissist, which made me dig into that, which made me dig into like empathy, because narcissists are attracted to empaths. Yeah, so they really pick up on these emotional cues like I was talking about: posture, tone of voice, change in expression, which I thought was like what everyone could do, but apparently, like I said, it's rare, which also makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh, I'm still on camera. I started doing my eyeshadow and I forgot. So another common trait is being maybe considered introverted or socially anxious, because when you go out into like these public spaces and you feel all these energies, it can just get really overwhelming, right? But you also tend to take on these roles such as being an RA or something that helps people volunteering. You tend to take on these roles that can be emotionally exhausting just because you're attracted to helping and healing others. And you're really good at it. You have the ability to really understand where someone is coming from, even to like sense their trauma. People often come to you for advice, you give advice, but sometimes it can be emotionally taxing. So I want to remind all of you empaths out there to take care of yourselves too. We can get really caught up in absorbing all these emotions like the sponges, right? But we need to also remember that we are people too. So this is one I haven't seen on any other pages. Tragic or violent events on TV can seriously incapacitate you. And I don't know, comment below and send me a message if this has ever happened to you, because seriously, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one with these feelings. For example, things like seeing police brutality all the time on my timeline or on the news, it really does just literally make my body give out. Like I'm just so emotionally drained by like seeing this and feeling it. It's like you can feel exactly what's going on through the TV. You can feel all the rage and the sadness and the loss. And I have a lot of examples of this. I think about that every day. I think about seeing the children who survived walk out of that school behind their teachers, shaking and crying, and the parents who were waiting for hours to see if their child was gonna walk out or not. I remember that scene so vividly from the TV that I cry about it all the time. And, I think that's where people will start calling us sensitive, but I think it's an incredible ability to be able to hone in on other people's feelings, to be able to transcend the feelings of people you have never met before, you have never even been in their position, but you can understand what pain they are feeling. And yeah, I think it's very powerful. I think empaths, once we learn how to get control of this, once we learn how to set our own boundaries, we could really be powerful up in here. Up in here, the world needs some empaths for real. There's this book I really want to read called The Super Empath, The Ultimate Guide on Mastering Your Empathetic Superpowers by Yassine Ben Fattah. And I just saw it when I was doing my little digging into, more information I could tell you. But it's funny because it was published on my birthday, and I'm like, okay, well, that might be a sign, I need to read this. So getting into super empaths, right? That's the extreme of empathy, empathetic people. And that's basically what I was just talking about, that ability to just see this image on TV and to just feel what they're feeling, to be there in pain with them. And things don't always need to be about pain. Everything's not about pain on this channel. People will say that adversity builds empathy, and I don't disagree with that, but I also don't believe that's the only channel. And I found that another quality of being empathetic is having extreme joy, feeling others' extreme joy. For example, when you see even a happy animal or a happy baby, you just feel so overwhelmed with whatever they're feeling, and you're consumed by this incredible happiness. And I think that is so powerful too, just as much as it is powerful to be able to understand other people's pains and struggles. It is so powerful to be understanding of their joy and to feel that with them as well. Okay, lastly, super empaths, you may not only be able to feel someone emotionally, but physically too. You may be able to feel someone's illness. I used to have a roommate who was so amazing. She could feel when I was in physical pain. I recently had shoulder surgery, but before that I had a lot of shoulder pain, and she would know every time it was bothering me and just come around to help me feel more at ease and more at peace with it. And that's another quality of a super empath. You tend to have this super calming effect on others, and that alone can be healing. Obviously, people are going to enjoy being around you, but you can't let them take advantage of you. Super empaths, you are a walking lie detector test. You know when the vibe is off, but for some reason, we usually tend to ignore our gut instinct, and even if we get pulled into the lie, we know that initially we had the correct feeling about it. So that's another link down below about trusting your intuition. But that's all I have right now for empaths and super empaths. If you found this helpful, you learned some new information, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Also, yes, comment and tell me if any of these things have ever happened to you. I want to find a community. I want to know that there's more people with empathy out there. Alright everyone, have a wonderful evening.